Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle, and this is the Dyson Sphere Program, and this is another progress update on my giant odyssey to actually try and construct a Dyson Sphere with A, my limited knowledge, and B, my limited ability to create effective production chains. And first off, just like I lead off many of these videos, wow, I'm dumb. So, see this guy right here? And I'm sure everybody who's watching already knows that these little drones are very key to moving resources around the game world. I had no idea, and so yes, I have conveyor belts literally going all over this planet now. I mean, just super long chains of, in some cases, empty conveyor belts, when really all I needed was planetary logistics stations. And I think the interplanetary ones do the exact same thing. They just cost more to build, and they can do interplanetary and planetary based logistics movement. So what we have here is this whole area is my refining zone, and the problem is no longer refined oil. I have plenty of that. I have so much of that I don't know what to do with it all. It all stores way out there. The problem has been that I didn't have enough hydrogen, and so I was trying to build more refining capability, to the point where I'm now using up basically every drop of oil on the planet. I can't build another refinery because it just won't be used. So I had to come up with a resolution to the problem, and I did. And the resolution to the problem I will kind of show you here. But first of all, back in my interplanetary area, where we have a whole bunch of these guys now, and it's a whole bunch for me. That's not a whole bunch for people who know what they're doing. That's just a whole bunch for me, which is just 5. But this one is getting hydrogen from another location, bringing it to this planet, and then from here bringing it over to where I'm actually utilizing it. Secondarily, as far as power goes, or as far as bringing from one planet to another, I have also figured out, in the time between my last video and now, how to get power to another planet. So I always knew, you can create, where are they? You can create accumulators, and I thought the main point of the accumulators was on planets where you have solar power that is only working for part of the day. I thought that the accumulators' point was to store that power during the day and then discharge it at night so that the grid stayed up. And while that is kind of a minor function there, they also have a much more important function, and that is to utilize them on other worlds. So I don't have this set up properly at all right now, but the way I have this set up is far away from here. On the other side of the planet, I am making empty accumulators. Right now, I've just been bringing them over here. It's not something where I need mass production yet, and mass, I don't need it to be automated yet, although soon, that's coming. I put them in these storage locations, and then they feed out to the energy exchangers, which fill them with power. Then they are brought to the interstellar logistics station. From there, I have them actually being transported as full ones off-world. And I have them going this away over to Iota Reticuli 4. And once we arrive there, you will see that the whole point of it is you send them full to another planet. They arrive on that other planet full, and then my whole thing was I didn't know how to use them. Well, the energy exchanger can then take them. So they arrive here, they get pumped out full. The energy exchanger then you can set to discharge, and it discharges them, spits them back out once they're empty, like that, which then they get, once there's enough in here, they can transport it back to the home world there to get refilled. But that way I'm powering this world from my home world. And yes, that's probably so obvious to so many people, but it totally was not obvious to me. And so I am now doing that, and it's working well. The next item that I suppose I will show off... Are we farming? The question of hydrogen. I just didn't have enough of it. I was running out of it. It was starting to become a real issue because I needed hydrogen to make several other components. Well, I now have miners on this planet, which took me a long time to figure out even how to place them. But each one of these, I forget what these are called. What are they called? Orbital collectors. So they basically sit there in a low orbit, I guess, of the gas giant and continually pull hydrogen, and I believe they can pull fire ice from this particular planet as well. And once they're done pulling and once they fill up, then they take it to my home planet, and now I have plenty of hydrogen. So that has been absolutely awesome to finally get that solved. And again, took me a long time, took me way longer than it should have, and I'm actually really glad that I didn't go ahead and record a bunch of that, because everybody would have been like, I mean, the few views that I get would have dried up because it was just so boring watching me struggle to figure out what I was doing. One of the other new additions that I suppose I'll point out before I forget is the upgrade button. So now if you hit U, you get an upgrade button. The cursor turns into an arrow, and then you can click on and upgrade individual sections of the conveyor belt. That would be cool and all, but it would take a long time to drag across the whole thing. So if you hold shift, it takes pretty much the whole belt, or at least a giant section of it. You click that, it upgrades it. You click it again, it upgrades it again, just like that. Now it does require you to have extra of whatever you're upgrading to, and then you get back whatever you were upgrading from. So we got back some level 1 and some level 2. Another item that I have now accomplished is, up until recently, I was only making components. Any structures that I needed, I was building myself, with the exception of conveyor belts and sorters. Everything else I was building on my own when I needed them, because I just didn't need too many. Well, the assembling machines, I finally got to the point where I just needed too many of them and I couldn't make them myself. And so this area right here is my area where I have machines making machines. How perverse. Anyhow, it's real basic. I do think it looks, compared to most of my other areas, I think it's laid out pretty well. We have iron plates being made, copper plates being made, and then iron is turned into gears. Iron plates are turned into gears. Iron and copper plates are turned into the circuit boards, and then iron continues on along with the gears, along with the circuit boards, to make the level 1 assemblers, and then the level 1 assemblers are taken to this area along with the processors, the higher end processors, and I guess that's graphene, and they are combined to make level 2 assembling machines, which I now have plenty of. Level 3 assembling machines I am not making on my own yet, because those require the fiber optic cable and the Pentium processors, and up until recently I have not had too many of those to go around, but I now do. Actually, recently I have completed the ability to make those processors. I already had the fiber optic cable. The processors, though, I did not have. And if we come over to this area, this is another brand new zone of mine, and I'm pulling the titanium and the silicone ore from the orbital logistics stations, and I am pulling that over this way. I'm also still using it where I had been, and we are now creating titanium glass, which requires glass, titanium ingots, and water. So not that difficult to make. I just plopped a bunch of water down here. I'm already making, I'm already making tons of glass elsewhere, and so I just bring that in, from other locations. Oh, actually, I take that back. I'm bringing glass in from Iota Reticuli 4, where I am now making tons of glass. So I bring that in from these storage containers, and we are now making titanium glass. Then titanium crystal is required, so I'm bringing organic crystal and titanium ingots over to create that. The next step is the Casimir crystals, which require the titanium crystals, the graphene, and more hydrogen, which evidently I don't have a ton of hydrogen over here. Oh no, it's just, it is not flowing fast enough to get to the other end. These guys use, oh, that's the other interesting thing. It is 60 hydrogen per crystal, which is a lot of hydrogen. Anyhow, so graphene, not too bad, and the titanium crystal, not too bad. Hydrogen, though, huge ask, so I'm not supplying enough hydrogen yet, but we'll get there. Again, I had a huge hydrogen shortage, so give me a break there. We're working on it. Next step in that process is plane filters. So plane filters require the titanium glass that I'm making brand new and the Casimir crystals, which I am making brand new. And of those, it's just 5 and 10 of each, but I'm not making a ton of them, so every little bit gets used. I will store the excess here, but right now I don't have any excess. And then I am making the quantum chips, the Intel Quantium processor, which require processors and plane filters to make those. And I am not making enough to even get half of these going yet. Again, this is a new setup, so I'm still learning just how much this is going to take for me to really get it going. That is the first component. These processors is the first component in one of the main items I want to finish off here today, which is the gravity matrix. The green energon requires those processors and the graviton lenses. And I just a little while ago finished the ability to make graviton lenses, which take diamond and strange matter. And so I'm bringing strange matter in from elsewhere. I'm bringing diamonds in from elsewhere. Look at this. Look at me using the planetary logistics system, which again, I should have been doing from so long ago, and I just wasn't. And that's on me, and I'm sure it was hysterical. I'm sure a lot of people looked at it and said, wow, this guy really is clueless. And I apologize, but I really was. So I am ready to make green energon. I have saved the best part for last year, and actually record the beginnings of making green energon. As far as the technology tree goes, we're pretty much as far as you can be without having green energon. I still don't know what these are going to be for. The accelerant. Anyhow, for upgrades, same thing. Don't know what these are for. Oh, nope, that's the same thing. Same thing for universe exploration, need green energon, the mecha core, green energon, energy circuits, drone engines, you know, everything else is going to require green energon. And so it is about time that we set that up, and to do so, I'm going to simply allow that to flow and allow the processors to flow. That should do it. Green energon, which then will come flowing out. Here we go. Hopefully, if I did this right. Hey, look at that. Look. It's green energon. Wow. So I think we can run all of those. Okay. I'm not going to bother making another stack of them quite yet. I guess let's see how quickly this stuff gets pumped out. Wow, this is slow. Here comes the first one. Yes! Okay. Well, that's not bad. It's not super quick, but it's not bad. So each little transport guy transports, I think, 70. Yes, carrying capacity of 70. This is set to supply green energon, I believe. So each one of these logistics stations can handle 3 types of goods. I suppose once I get larger and once I get even better, I'll have them dedicated to demand or supply. For right now, I will go ahead and do both. I'll have 2 demands and 1 supply. Anyhow, if we go back around the corner, over this way. So, I have this one, I think. Yes. So the hydrogen one is set up to demand... Oh, it's already demanding it. Okay, so there it is. There's the first green energon arriving. Look at this. Look at this. Maybe. Oh. I don't have it set up correctly. One interesting item, and I will show everyone that now, is that when you drag a conveyor belt into a logistics station, you're fine. It'll just, whatever you send it, it'll take. When you drag it out, you actually have to hit tab here. I can have it spit out hydrogen, green energon, number 3, which I guess is nothing yet, or none. So we're going to do green energon, and then lay that down. And the green energon should flow. Just like that. Now, if I did this correctly, I will have it flowing to each... I do. Okay. So I have it flowing properly to each... No, I don't. I have it flowing properly. Oh, you jerk. I have it flowing properly to... Oh, come on. That's just not fair. I should have seen that coming because it wasn't working on the other side. I don't know why it would have worked on that side. Anyhow, so now I have all 4 types flowing to all 4 stacks. Very cool. We can now actually begin some of the green energon work that we need to do. And I don't know of anything else specific that has changed. I am making a lot more of the... Is it Deuteron? What comes out of here? I don't remember the name. Deuterium. So deuterium, I have ramped up big time because I need a ton of it because so much uses the stuff. Luckily, we are full on the outputs right now, so that's good. But it is used in strange matter. It is used in the fuel rods, which have been super helpful. Again, they are by far the best fuel for the bot. Oh, did I pick up some? I picked up some of the greens. We'll do that. We'll actually get rid of the reds. Anyhow, so that is the long and the short of what I have accomplished. In the meantime, everything else is pretty much just expansion, more power. This area has grown quite a bit, and if we look at the power grid, it's already getting close to maxing again. I'm within 100 megawatts at the moment, but that's I think with the sun down on my more productive solar station. I am making more of these processors. Finally, I have this working the way I kind of want it to. The issue was I was never going to have enough of the silicon ore to keep up with it, so I'm now pulling silicon ore in from another planet. And so Iota Reticuli 4 is where the silicon ore is coming from. So now I'm maxing out. Everything here can work as fast as it can, and I will expand that further because these processors, these AMD-looking chips are used in everything, which I guess is a testament to AMD. So I think we're doing pretty good here, and I actually might... let's build another stack. Can't hurt, right? I don't know if I have enough, but we'll build as high as I can build with what I've got. Black light. So I will build more of those shortly. Come on. Okay. So now we have a little bit more production there. With no power. Okay, so what should I... And I do have one other item to point out. What should I study first here? Not that we're going to be able to get anywhere with it. Let's do the Mecha Core, I guess? Because I want to get universe exploration. Oh, no, I guess I don't need the Mecha Core for that. And actually... Oh, in all planetary systems. Yes, let us do that. Then let's do the Mecha Core. Let's talk systems. Briefly. I have done some cataloging. So I think basically if the system has a name on it that shows right now, you can hover over any of them and it will tell you their name. If it has a persistent name like all of these ones do, that means I've been there. I have no idea what these symbols mean in front of some of them. So like Monocerotis has one of those symbols, and I know there's another one around. Oh, there's one. Pisces Austrini has one of those symbols. I don't know what they mean, but I have traveled about to a lot of these different, to all of these named systems here that are persistent, and I have cataloged them. Yes, cataloged them in a spreadsheet. I know that what you can do is you can click on the system and it will tell you, you know, what's there as far as maybe you can't. What the heck? What's going on? I have been there. It should tell me. That's weird that it says unknown. I guess it does require universe exploration, even though I've already been there, because right now my universe exploration only allows me to see star systems within a certain distance, 3 light years, I believe. But I went ahead and cataloged all of them. So like the Denobula system, I know it has 4 planets in it. I know exactly what's on each planet as far as resources go. I figure that will be a good thing to do, I hope, because I don't think there's ever a cataloging system in-game that shows you exactly what is on each system. I think it kind of tells you, or sorry, what's on each planet. I think it tells you what's in each system, but it doesn't really tell you anything beyond the total amount, and I'm going to want to know what's on each planet, so at least those nearby ones I have been cataloging. Wow, we already used up all of the green. Oh, here comes the load. I wanted to see, oh, that's cool. Look at. You can see all, is it 5 now? Yeah, you can see all 5. Blue, green, red, purple, yellow. That's so cool. That is very neat. Anyhow, so to give a further progress update, as you can see, I also do have a much expanded refinery section, as I mentioned before. That used to end right here. There used to be nothing after this row except for these chemical plants that are making plastic. Anyhow, I got rid of all of that, moved it all. I also cleaned up the sulfuric acid generations. That is doing better now. Like I said, I don't have anything for the oil at the moment, and so it's lame, but when these fill up, the only real recourse I have is to go ahead and delete them, which I'm sure makes a lot of people cringe as well, because like, wait, you could use that for something. Well, I can't really use it for anything right now. I'm sure I will at some point, but again, when the refined oil stops flowing, so does the hydrogen, and I don't really need, it's not something I rely on a lot anymore, because now I have hydrogen coming from the gas giant, but it's still something that I'm trying to stay ahead of so that these don't lock up entirely. I don't know, I just don't want that to happen, so I'm trying not to have that happen. And that's it. That is your progress update. It's funny, I was like trying to keep track of everything I wanted to go over, and it seemed like a whole lot. And 15 minutes later, it's definitely not a whole lot to go over, is it? But that's where we are. Everything is just slightly expanded. I'm making more of the blue engines. I'm making more of the green engines. Here's where I make the accumulators. So right now, again, it's very lame. I get that it's very lame. I'm going to work on much better automation of it. I'll probably just put an interplanetary logistics station over there, and that's how that will work. But for the time being, this is how it works. I just drop them in manually. Again, it's just one planet relying on it, and so, oh, there was a time where I was needing a lot of these, and so I was hoarding them in there without a way for them to get out. Might as well fix the loop again. And I do have ships bringing the empty ones back, so when they do empty out on Iota Reticuli 4, they are brought back here, dumped out. In fact, there's a pile of them now that just landed, so they get filled up by these guys, which can't right now. See, that's the problem with the power grid. These cannot charge anything if you're discharging from your accumulators on planet. And so that's why I say my power grid is in trouble, because right now I need 490 and I'm at 459. And while I have enough energy accumulated on the world to take care of that, it's definitely not enough. It's definitely not enough to charge those, and in the meantime, Iota Reticuli will be running out of power. Now, again, I have such a small operation. This is still such a pathetically tiny setup that it's not going to affect anything long term. What I will need to do is I'm going to need to set up a planet that is strictly power generation. That's all that it does. Like, we will take the Deuteron fuel rods from this world, send them to that other world, just generate tons and tons and tons of power there. It'll simply be floor space. You know, I'm just out of floor space here. I don't have enough room to stack power plants all over the place. And so we will have a world where it's just covered in power plants, and then we will ship that power all over the place. The trouble there is, if we click on these guys, they require the space warpers. And I am definitely not mass producing space warpers yet. Now, it does look like they're pretty easy to make just out of the lenses or out of the green energon. Which I guess once I study everything, the green energon will become kind of superfluous, and so I can just use that for making space warper. It just takes one of each, so I don't know which will. I mean, it says with the gravity matrix, the production of the space warper becomes easier. I don't know if that'll actually be true or not. 10 seconds. It's just 10 seconds for each, so I'm not sure. But I'm going to have to mass produce those, because those are what go in here that then I guess go into these logistics vessels and allow them to travel between systems. And it looks like 50, that's me learning right there. 50 can be held in each one. So I will need space warpers, piles and piles of them, which, again, shouldn't be too difficult to create. That's it. That's all I know. So there's where we are now. I have systems mapped out. I have, some, I guess, some inroads into determining where I want to go to actually have an upgrade from this one planet doing everything to individual planets just specializing in, like one planet that's just sulfuric acid and one planet that's just organic crystals. Without having done anything actually in space yet, as far as Dyson Sphere components or solar sails or small carrier rockets or anything, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to require the most of. I guess photon combiners are going to really quickly become super important. So, I am, as far as the actual Dyson Sphere goes, I don't know what a vertical launching silo does. I don't know what a ray receiver does. I don't know what an EM rail injector does, but that will be the next phase, figuring out what on earth all those things do. Wow, I am making a lot of green, because I'm guessing these guys are full when they're coming in here. Are they not? Are you guys full? Kind of. Can you click on these and get a... You can't. In transit, 56. Oh, so maybe they're transiting. Maybe they are transporting whatever they can carry, and it's just a little bit each time. So I will need to obviously up the green energon production if I'm going to get any of these really working, more than just a stack of 3 or 4. So I will work on that. And that's the primary, the primary reason for this video was just to show that I have gotten to the green energon, and we can now study a whole lot of this stuff. And so that's my plan, is to just go through and study everything that I can. I have no idea how I'm going to get to Universe Matrix. I guess that requires one of each of those, and what is that other thing? I don't think I can make it yet. No, I can't make the Universe Matrix yet. So I don't know what that other item was. I don't know what that other item was that it's going to take. Oh, the only other note I have this took me a while to figure out as well. Foundations. So, like, I have a soil pile right now of 3,700. So if I want to place a foundation here, that consumes 1,364 of it. Blam. And then 1,800 of it. Blam. And now I suddenly don't have enough soil. I can't even build here. I was trying to figure out how you get more soil pile, and in little bitty bits, if I go to build in an area like here, I'll get 1,166 soil pile. Yay! So I was getting very small amounts because it levels everything. So this hill right here is gone. No more hill. No more hill. But it's very small amounts. What I discovered was, and again, I am sure that many are like, wow, it took you this long to figure that out? You're an idiot. Well, yeah, it took me that long to figure it out. Now, granted, I didn't use the internet at all, so maybe that's why. But I was standing on... Oh, don't miss the planet! Almost missed it. I was standing on Iota Reticuli 1, increasing the power grid that's here to ensure that we keep cranking out titanium, as that is very much required. And I realized that here, the whole thing is hills, and so leveling a bunch of it works really well. And I was trying to figure out this. I was very frustrated with how slow it was going, and I just happened to say, is there a way to increase the size of this deal right here? And I tried the plus key, which works. And so there, now I have 13,000 soil pile. And, oh, now I'm out of items. Anyhow, you know, I'd get 3,400 for that one, and 1,800 for that one, and 2,900 for that one, and 5,300 for that one. So I determined how I can get soil pile very quickly by increasing the size of the placement and by going to a rocky, hilly planet. Now, you do have to be careful, because if you accidentally place soil piles over the lava, well, that fills in the lava, and then you lose all your... no, I don't want to land again. Then you lose all of your soil piles. So, that's how you get soil piles. I'm sorry that it took me that long to figure that out. Why can't I warp? Oh, I'm not 1,000 meters up yet. Gotta be 1,000 meters. Gotta be 1,000 meters above the surface of the planet in order to enter. And there we go. That is all I have to show. After, what is this, video 8 or 9? After 8 or 9 videos, I am still stuck on just a single planet. It is taking me a while, I do admit that. I'm having fun with the game. I think the game is absolutely spectacular. I love it so far. Yeah, see, now we have used all of our energy, and we are at 90% efficiency. So, continuing to research, increasing the amount of green energon that I'm cranking out. Continuing to research green energon and finding a planet where I can just generate power, and perhaps having ships come back and forth from one system to another system would be the next big things that I attempt. And again, I would, put in the comments if you want to see me actually building some of this stuff. It takes way longer than it should, and it's not a pretty picture, and I'm sure it wouldn't be very entertaining. So that's why I'm more giving spot updates just in my progress toward actually constructing a Dyson Sphere instead of showing what I'm doing to build all of this stuff. But that's all I have to say for this time. I do appreciate everybody who watched. Thank you so very much. I'll continue to post these. Again, I'm having fun with the game. It's nice to have some progress updates here and there just to see that I am actually progressing. And shortly, I do believe I will actually be able to launch something towards the star. That is another question, though. Which star? I think what I want to do is find a system that has like copious amounts of the rarer stuff like titanium and the like, and I think I will use one of those systems as the location where I'll actually build the Dyson Sphere. Unless, like, I don't think a red giant, like, I do not believe creating a Dyson Sphere around a red giant or around a G-type star or around an M-type star or around a neutron star will make a whole lot of difference. I don't think that's part of the game, I guess we'll find out if I mean, heck, I suppose you can build multiple Dyson spheres, couldn't you? So I guess if I build one around, you know, a G-type star and then around an M-type star and I get some kind of different result, that would be interesting. There is also a black hole out here by the neutron star. So one of these times I will fly out to that neutron star and then I will fly out to the black hole and we will see not only what a black hole looks like in Dyson Sphere Program, but what happens when you fly into a black hole. I will actually give that a shot. So, thank you everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. And you guys will hear my voice, my crackly, scratchy, I have a cold voice, and you will see my gameplay on the next one.